guess what? You're listening to Your Best Manager, episode 100. Hey everybody, and welcome to the Your Best Manager podcast, featuring interviews with senior managers and leadership experts, as well as practical advice for first-time managers. And after today's show, be sure to visit yourbestmanager.com to sign up for the next live training web class, where I'll teach you how to use positioning to save time, increase productivity, and take your team's performance to the next level. Have fun! Welcome. I am so glad that you're here listening today, because today's episode is a big deal. That's right. It's episode 100 of the Your Best Manager podcast, and I'm so honored that you've taken some time to join me today as I cap off season 1 of the show. Now, if you've been a long-time listener, you might be thinking, what do you mean by season 1? Well, if you listen to my fireside chat in episode 95, you'll remember that I announced a few changes to the format of the show, the biggest one being that I am changing up the schedule from 3 episodes a week to just 1 episode a week. And the biggest reason for me doing that is so that I can spend more time doing 2 things. First of all, I want to put more time and effort into each podcast episode that I do. I've mentioned this on the show before, but each episode that I produce, I spend about 4 to 5 hours, whether it's an interview episode or a manager training episode, which means that right now I'm spending, on average, at least 15 hours a week just on the production of putting this podcast together. Now, I don't mind spending that much time on the show, but there are some things that I want to be able to do that I just can't do when I'm doing 3 episodes a week according to that schedule. But if I'm only producing 1 show a week, then I can spend more time on each episode, therefore increasing the quality of each episode, which will allow me to do things like put together higher quality professional templates and free downloads more often to accompany my manager training episodes. And it's going to allow me to improve the quality of the interviews that I conduct. And it'll probably increase the length of a little bit of some of the discussions if the conversation warrants it as well. But ultimately, it's going to make the entire experience for you, the listener, that much better. So that's the first place I want to spend more time. The second place I want to spend more time is actually on some other projects that I have on the go through yourbestmanager.com, one of which I'm going to talk about on today's episode, which is my new Different program. And I can't wait to dive into that with you, because it's so cool. But I say all this to say this. It's episode 100 today, and I'm turning the page into a new chapter, or a new season, if you will, of Your Best Manager. So what's going to happen is that, similar to a TV show, I'm going to take a bit of a break in between season 1 and season 2. Now, this isn't like a multi-month hiatus or anything like that. It's actually just going to be a couple of weeks, because some of the changes that I'm making to the show, I just don't want to rush anything, so I'm going to be working behind the scenes over the next 2 to 3 weeks to get season 2 ready for production. And let me tell you, it's going to be starting off with a bang. I've got some incredible guests lined up, including some past guests like Mike Figliolo, he was actually the first guest on the Your Best Manager podcast, episode 1. So Mike is coming back for round 2 and will be appropriately episode 101 of the podcast, or the first show of season number 2, which is super cool to do that. But I've also got some exciting new guests, and I won't give it all away now, but one of the ones I'm really excited for is a man named Marshall Goldsmith. And I'm actually interviewing Marshall this Thursday from the time of recording it. So Thursday, what's the date on that? Thursday, today's July 9th. So Thursday, July 13th, I am interviewing Marshall Goldsmith. I can't wait. Now, if you don't know who Marshall is, I'm going to give you the Coles Notes and just say that he is the author of 35 books, most notably the bestsellers What Got You Here Won't Get You There, and Triggers, Creating Behavior That Lasts, Becoming the Person You Want to Be. Oh, and he's also been recognized as the #1 leadership thinker in the world, the #5 management thinker in the world, and he's number 11 on Inc. magazine's global list of top 50 leadership and management experts. And to give you some context there, That puts him ahead of names like Stephen Covey, Simon Sinek, Patrick Lencioni, and David Allen, and obviously, a bunch more. There's 39 more people that he's ahead of. So this guy's a big deal, and I'm really excited to interview him, and it's going to be a great time. And so there's a bunch of really cool interviews and cool guests I've got coming on for season 2. So if you enjoyed season 1, season 2 is going to knock your socks off. All right, so what's going to be happening then is I'm going to be taking a small break so I can get season 2 ready to go. And what I'll do in between is I'm actually going to re-release my favorite 2, maybe 3 past episodes as bonus episodes. So schedule itself is going to be every Monday I'll release a new show. But during the break in between season 1 and season 2, you're going to get a bonus episode on the Mondays in between, so that if you missed these incredible interviews, you don't have to go back and search through like all 100 episodes to find some gold or find out, hey, which ones are worth listening to, because there's a lot. You can just stay tuned. And the best way to do that is to subscribe to this podcast on whatever platform you're listening to. So whether that's iTunes or Stitcher or Google Play or iHeartRadio or wherever you're listening to this podcast, click the subscribe button and you'll automatically download each new episode. And if you're listening to this on my website, there should be buttons beneath where you can find the best platform for you to listen. So if you've got an iPhone, it's really easy. There's a purple button on your iPhone screen that says podcasts, I think. Just go search Your Best Manager. It'll come up and click the subscribe button. I don't know what it looks like on Google Play, but you can do that. And regardless of whatever phone you have, you can download Stitcher or iHeartRadio or something like that, and you can listen to this on your phone. And you know what's funny is, a total side note, but I pay for the ability to have a Your Best Manager app, and I've never set it up. So maybe I'll set that up for season 2 so that if you want to get everything and have super convenience and have a little Your Best Manager button on your phone, I think I can create that. So I might be doing that. Anyway, so if you haven't subscribed yet, click the subscribe button and you'll automatically download each new episode, which means you won't miss any of the bonus re-releases, so you don't have to go back and listen to a bunch, but you'll also get notified as soon as season 2 is ready. And if you've already subscribed, like so many of you have, first of all, thank you. I am so grateful that you choose to spend your time with me on a regular basis. It means so much, and I'm honored to have the privilege to serve you each and every week. But if you've already subscribed, you don't need to do a thing. Once season 2 kicks off, it'll automatically be downloaded into your queue. It's not going to be in a separate area, so you need to do nothing. Did I mention I'm excited? I'm excited. I mean, this is going to be great. I had so much fun in the first 100 episodes, but I'm beyond ecstatic about what new and better things I get to do because of some of these changes I'm making. And I wish I could articulate them, but you're just going to have to wait and see and listen to how much better they are, because I don't know how to really describe it without just showing you. And so there's a lot of really cool things. And speaking of really cool things, let's talk about what happens when you produce 100 episodes of a leadership podcast. You know, I started yourbestmanager.com with one simple goal: to provide training and resources to first-time managers so that these new managers wouldn't have to learn everything through trial and error, just hoping that they'd, somehow figure out how to lead people effectively at some point. But this show has, and yourbestmanager.com has stretched beyond that, because there are 2 other groups of amazing people who I get to reach and impact through what I do. And this includes some more experienced managers who are looking to take their teams to the next level. And I mean, this may be you listening right now. So maybe you've been a manager for 3, 4, 5 years now, maybe more, and you just feel like stuck or frustrated or inspired to desire more. And so if that's you, I'm glad you've chosen to listen to the show. But this also includes a second group of people, which are business executives, business owners, and human resources managers, talent managers who, sure, they're pursuing personal development opportunities as well, but they have one of the most important responsibilities of all. And if this is you listening right now, you know what I'm talking about. You have the responsibility to ensure that the managers you lead or support are equipped to most effectively lead your teams. And so whether you're a first-time manager listening today, a career-driven professional, or an entrepreneur growing your small business, or whether you're an experienced manager or even a senior business leader, HR manager, executive listening right now, you are the reason why I do what I do. You're the reason this podcast exists. You are the reason that yourbestmanager.com exists. And you're the reason why I quit a very successful corporate job in management. It's all to help you make a difference in the lives of the people who are in your care. And so over the past 100 episodes, not only have I been learning a ton, but I've been incredibly curious, and I've been reading books and investing in some personal development training programs myself, because since day one of this podcast, I've wanted to put together something that could actually help you achieve tangible results, like to help you achieve real goals, to help you improve your team and grow your business or grow your career, or just give you some sort of resource. If you're an HR manager or a business executive, give you some sort of resource that you can give to your people, to your managers, to help them lead more effective teams. And at the beginning of June, when I started the What If Project, I also started the process of launching a brand new program to do just that. It's called Different, and I might have mentioned it on the show before, but I know I haven't talked about it in depth. So it's called Different, and it's an 8-week leadership development and coaching program where I'm taking 50 people and walking them through what it means to lead shoulder to shoulder and how to be positioned where they can most effectively lead their teams. And some of you listening right now have already signed up for this new program, which is going to be kicking off August 1st and running until the end of September. And so to those of you who have already signed up for this program, I can't wait to dive into it with you, because this is probably the biggest, most exciting thing I've ever created. And what's most exciting is that, this isn't about me. It's about getting you real, tangible results. And so I'm looking forward to actually week 8, which will be the end of September, where we get to celebrate some of the big changes that come from just 8 weeks of focus. But let me tell you a little bit more about what this program actually is. And I'm going to start off by providing you with some definitions. So the program itself is called Different. And that's because the best leaders and managers who I've worked with and worked for aren't just better, they're different. The best leaders aren't necessarily the ones who work the hardest or who have read the most books or even the ones with the fancy titles. The best managers, and you know this is true, the best managers do things differently than other managers do. Think about one of the best managers, or think about the best manager you've seen. Whether you worked directly for them or not, you can visualize somebody who's a great manager. And I bet that you'd be able to tell me something that they did or that they do that is unlike other managers. So that's the pursuit of this overall program. It's not about being better, it's about being different. Now, the second definition is a concept I've talked about frequently on the podcast, and that's the idea of shoulder-to-shoulder leadership, which is to lead in a way where your shoulders can literally touch the shoulders of your employees. Because one of the different things that great managers do is that they aren't afraid to work on the front lines and get their hands dirty. I talk about the idea of position, or I will talk about the idea of positioning in a second, but the best managers, or the best position to be in if you are a manager in order to effectively coach and lead your team, that ideal position is right alongside your people. Not in your office, hiding behind your phone or hiding behind your email, but shoulder to shoulder with your people. And shoulder to shoulder leaders have more engaged, more productive, and higher performing teams. And those managers are less stressed. They get to leave on time. They have more fulfilling, rewarding careers, and they actually take their people to better places. That is a huge component. That is ultimately the philosophy the entire program is built upon, is this idea of, or this concept of shoulder to shoulder leadership. And the last definition I'm going to share is positioning. Effective leadership is about being positioned where you can most effectively lead your team. It's about being in the right place at the right time with the right information. It's about knowing when to be on the front lines with your people, shoulder to shoulder, and it's about crafting an ideal operating rhythm so that you can actually be both personally productive and capable of executing on your own work, but also in a place where you can actually coach and make real change happen in the lives and the work of the employees who you serve each day. And this last definition, this idea of positioning, is really the key to the entire Different program. While it's all built on the idea or the concept of shoulder-to-shoulder leadership, it's really all about setting up your management, your I don't want to say your operating rhythm is really the best way to put it. It's about getting you in position where you can be most effective. And that's why I've been hosting live webinars over the past few weeks. And maybe you've joined one of them while I was putting the first few together, or maybe you haven't yet, but you've seen them, or maybe you've seen or heard me talk about it. But I've been the last couple of weeks, and I'm going to be doing it again this Thursday, and I'm going to be doing a bunch next week. But the web class or the webinars I've been doing have been called How Managers Can Use Positioning to Save Time, Increase Productivity, and ultimately lead more successful teams. In fact, through these webinars is actually the best way to learn about and access the different program, because not only through that webinar do I provide a free, complete 60-minute training session on how to position yourself, where you'll be most effective, but I also provide through that webinar an in-depth look at my new program at the end of it, and I offer an incredible discount that is only available to webinar attendees. And even on the show, I'm not even going to tell you what the price is, but suffice it to say, the people who attend the webinars get the best deal. I'll just put it that way. Actually, the people who got the best deal were the people who signed up June 1st, because when I was first figuring out how all this thing was going to look, I invited some people to come in, and if that's one of you, I'm super, super happy to have you to join me for this program, and I'm excited and really thankful that you were one of the first to sign up, especially if you were one of the ones that signed up June 1st. Super, super, super grateful for you. So if you'd like to grab some free training, if you'd like to learn what this idea of positioning is and how it can help you save time, be more productive as a manager, and take your people to a better place, and learn at the same time about my new program, I want you to go to yourbestmanager.com/different. And there you'll see a button or you'll see a little thing that says when the next live event is. And so you can just click, put in your name and email address, and I'll send you all the details on that, and you can join me for some live training. But right now, let me walk you through exactly what's included in the program and why and how I designed it. So for starters, this leadership coaching program is designed for two things: accessibility and results. From an accessibility standpoint, this program doesn't require you to take any time off work, doesn't require a plane ticket, and you don't need to book a hotel. I've created this program in a complete online learning platform where so you can access the content of this program on your terms and according to your schedule from literally anywhere in the world. And even though it's a specific 8-week program, you get lifetime access to all of the content that's inside of there. So it's completely accessible, but it's also about results. I already mentioned this earlier, but this program begins with setting specific goals and ends 8 weeks later by measuring your results. That's why I'm excited for week 8, because I get to see the transformation that happens. Because, this isn't just about learning some nice things that are hopefully going to be useful to you. It's about making change and implementing new things so that you can literally take your team from where it is today to a better place in literally 8 weeks. And I don't care whether your team's awful or even non-existent right now. I was at a point in time where I'd lost all the employees from my team. I had 3 employees when I was a first-time manager, and 9 months later, they were all gone. So whether that's you or whether you've got a large team right now, wherever you are today, 8 weeks from the start of the program, which is our August 1st, your team will be in a different place, a better place. That's the whole point. And one of the cool ways I get to actually ensure that this program actually delivers those results is that this isn't just an online program where you watch a bunch of videos and are left to figure it out on your own. That's the core of the content, but I've also made myself and I'm making myself available to each participant as a personal leadership coach, meaning that during office hours, which are predefined periods of time during each weekday, and I might even do some on weekends. I should probably define that. Anyway, so during office hours, anyone in the program can reach out to me for a phone call, a video call, ask me a question via email, you name it, so that we can actually work through some of the challenges you are facing on your team, in your business, and we can face them together. That type of support is almost unheard of in leadership training programs, unless you are spending thousands and thousands of dollars or having a consultant come into your company. But let me just quickly walk you through some bullet points of how the 8 weeks are kind of broken down and what you actually get when you join, and then I'll close things off. I'm not going to give you everything because I really want you to attend the free training that I do on the next webinar, and I'll go in depth on the program then. But let me just give you kind of a summary of what's included in the program so you know. So again, it's an 8-week program. So what will happen is that each week you get access to new material, which includes a video lecture from me, and then supporting resources and activities to help you implement that week's lesson. So that's the core of the program. 8 weeks, 8 video lessons, 8 activities, and everything you need to actually implement the training. But I've also included a bunch of bonuses into the program for free, including a massive template library, which has email templates, goal-setting templates, meeting templates, performance management templates, you name it, just a ton of documents so that you don't need to create things, but a bunch of documents that will help you communicate and help you manage a little bit more simple. And then you'll also get, as I already mentioned, access to coaching from me throughout the full 8 weeks, but you're also going to get access to 8 live community calls or 8 live workshops where all the participants can join me on a live video for Q&A and for some additional learning, because I'll be teaching some additional stuff there. And these videos are going to be recorded, so if you miss them, you don't miss out, because I'll store them in the members area, which again, you get lifetime access to. So a bunch of cool extras there. And then you also get access to my new Udemy course, The Ultimate Manager's Guide to Hiring Great People, which I know some of you who have been listening for a while have maybe already signed up for free access to that course once it's released. And just so you know, it finally has a date, July 19th. I decided to add a couple things to it since it took so long. So July 19th is when that is set to be released. And so if you signed up earlier for the free access to that course, then this really isn't a bonus for joining my new program. But regardless, if you haven't joined, it'll be included. If you have joined, it's included free anyway. But it's a $95 course that teaches you everything you need to know about making great hiring decisions. And again, that's included as a bonus in my new different program. And there's actually one additional bonus, but it's only available to those who register and participate in one of my free positioning training webinars. So if you are interested, again, go to yourbestmanager.com/different so you can find out when the next live training is. And I'll see you very, very soon for that. All right. Well, what do you think? It's exciting, right? I mean, I've been saying that the whole time. I'm excited. I've been working my tail off to create something that's literally designed to give you results and to help you grow your business or career. And it just feels so good knowing that this program is only a few weeks away from starting. And at the same time, I'm equally excited for season 2 of the Your Best Manager podcast. I'm excited for it to start up. And again, that's just a couple weeks away too. There's just so many cool things on the go right now. And what makes this so amazing is, it's you. Everything I create and put together, the sleepless nights I have, because I have them sometimes when I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do next, or how I'm going to do something, or what I'm going to talk about, or what's important. The hours I spend behind my laptop, the hours I spend in front of a microphone, and even in front of a video camera now, putting this new training together, it's all to serve you. So I hope that you're as thrilled about it as I am. But I do need to just point out again, you can't be as thrilled as I am because I know more about the program than you do. This episode is really just a glimpse of that new different program. So if you want the full details and you want to actually figure out, hey, is this even for me or not? Is this for my management team or not? Is this going to be something that'll help me where I'm at in my career or not? Is this going to be something that helps my business or not? You've got to attend my next training webinar on positioning. And again, go to yourbestmanager.com. You can do that right now because this is the end of the show. Yourbestmanager.com/different, and you'll be able to register for the next live web class. And I will see you then. Thanks for listening, and have fun. All right, everyone, that does it for today's episode. Thank you so much for listening. Now hop over to yourbestmanager.com and take advantage of the free tools, resources, and training which I've created exclusively for you, the next generation of leaders. Oh, and have fun.